watching.
What? Oh, that's her brother. Yeah, so that's his mom.
Good evening, BBYO. It is so lovely to see you all here. My name is Morgan, or Mo, and I have the pleasure here at BBYO working with our movement's global teen leadership year-round. And I have to be honest, it is a pleasure to be here with all of you this evening. Right here in this space and tuning in around the world, we have some of the fiercest champions, best innovators, and strongest hearts that the Jewish community has ever known. To say that it's inspiring to be surrounded by this community would be an understatement. The individuals under this tent represent a powerful convening of the AZA and BBG movement. Alephs, BBGs, BBYO professionals, family, and friends have come together for a remarkable weekend. And what a weekend it will surely be. Looking out at a sea of faces, there are so many that are familiar. Some because we've gotten to know each other at BBYO summer experiences, others from your Zoom box squares. But this, I can tell you, is a powerful cast of characters. Here, the executive body hails from 14 of our family's 60 countries, with dozens more tuning in around tonight, for some of you this morning, and throughout the weekend. I know that I don't have to remind you all, because I think that we all can feel it. This is a really cool and consequential time to be here, to be in these seats, to be working with this amazing team, and to be working for this movement. This year we're talking a lot about strengthening our chapters for any Jewish teen, anywhere and everywhere, and there is not a moment to waste. The theme that the International Board chose for this conference speaks to the power that each and every one of us has. Meet the moment. I love it because it's both a call to action and an invitation to approach every moment like it could be that moment for someone else. I believe so deeply in what this movement does. I believe in the magic that we cultivate here, the friendships that we launch here, the visions that we manifest here, the energy that we create here, and the power that each and every one of you has. When we take a step back to think about everything that happens in a year between one August execs to the next, it gets pretty humbling, dizzying, and absolutely impressive. Thousands of new members welcomed home, dozens of new professionals, new countries, new projects, new platforms. I won't spoil all of the inaugural address, but what I will tell you is that there are hundreds and thousands of lives that will now be Jewish because of the work that we have done. A year ago, some of you didn't know that you would be in these seats. A year ago, some of you were in these seats. And a year ago, some of you, whether you were tuning in from home or thinking about us, wherever you were in the world, you were hoping that you would be in these seats. But the beauty of it all is that it's not about whether we're sitting on the stage, sitting in the audience, or sitting on, I hope, a comfortable couch at home. It's not about any of us in these seats. It's about all of you and what you represent. To the family members, friends, and support systems that traveled from all corners of the world and are tuning in from home, thank you for being here to nurture and steward this community. To the absolutely exceptional professionals and teens who helped build this incredible weekend, my endless gratitude. To the board of directors, thank you for making everything that we do possible. To every teen and staff member, thank you for making the time to be here, to be with us this weekend. And most importantly, thank you for choosing to do this work. And now, as we officially launch the 2022 International August Executives Conference, and in turn, our year together, it is my most genuine delight to welcome BBYO's Chief Executive Officer, Matthew Grossman, to guide us forward. Here's to a year of moments.
Thank you, Morgan. I think as everyone in this room knows, as well as anyone, that Morgan is a treasure. And she has led us through this summer. She's led us in building this leadership team. She is a beholder of our democracy as an organization, and that alone is something that is so valuable in this day and age. It's wonderful, obviously, to be here this evening and just to be in this setting, to be at this camp, to be under the stars tonight when those stars come out and when we can see them. And I just want to start with a few thank yous as well. First, I want to thank the parents who've joined us, of all the international board members. I want to thank you guys for 4 years of driving your kids around, of picking them up at crazy places, of wrestling about going to school or not going to school. And you've been there for them, and you're the reason why they're here tonight. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I also want to thank everyone who's joining us via live stream there. I think maybe even my own daughter, who is entering 8th grade and is BBG #1 registered for the class of 2028. Maybe online as well, who knows, but she'll be a part of all of this in the future, and I couldn't be more proud to say that. I also want to especially thank my professional colleagues who are scattered around the room. We talk a lot about why we do this, and we do it because we want to enrich the lives of young people, and we do that by bringing people together. And as everyone knows, it hasn't been easy bringing people together over the last couple of years, but we've done our jobs. And I couldn't be more proud of the people who I work with. And I just want to ask them to stand quickly, and I want everyone to stand and thank them for the passion and the love. You can clap and stand, because these guys do it for you. They do it with full hearts. And they don't stop. We're also joined by more than 24 participants from outside of the U.S. And I want to welcome them and thank them for traveling here to be with us. They're from Canada, South America, South Africa, Eastern Europe, Israel. And I spent some time this afternoon, and I was asked the question, why is it so important for us that we invest in them being present here with us? And I've been thinking about that all afternoon, and I'm not sure I gave a coherent answer at the time, but what my thinking about this has led me to right now is that if we're truly going to be one people as a Jewish community, we've got to be together. We've got to know each other. We've got to have relationships with each other. And for us to know our own story as a Jew is to understand the story of everyone else wherever they may be in the world. Because my story didn't start in the United States. My story started somewhere in Ukraine or somewhere in Eastern Europe. And we all did in one way or another. And eventually, this group has found itself here right now in Pennsylvania at that moment. at this moment rather. And I just want to thank that audience who traveled far to help complete all of our stories and be with us. And of course, I know streaming to Ukraine, to Russia right now, and to recognize our brothers and sisters, our siblings at AJT and in those communities who can't be with us right now. Know that we're thinking about you, we're with you, and that you are very much a part of all of this, and you always will be. Just down the road at the Common Point Retreat Center, many of you know we hold CLTC now. And I'm sure all of you in one way or another have been to CLTC, not necessarily at Common Point. And I had the pleasure of being there several times this summer, visiting with those participants, the youngest BBYO members. And I learned something which was more than ever before, they were opting to have their bar and bat mitzvahs at CLTC. And the person who was telling me this, like a fool, I said, why do you think that is? And they looked at me like I was a fool. And they said, because they missed theirs. They didn't have them. These are the kids coming up where, because of COVID, the Jewish rite of passage, which is the bar bat mitzvah, they didn't have access to like many of us did. And I really, for the first time, sort of understood that's not good. I mean, that there's something that is really lost in missing out on that rite of passage. And I also felt very proud because I knew at CLTC at that moment, we were giving them the chance to have it. And I mentioned that because right now, those freshmen and sophomores in BBYO, they're the people who look up to all of you guys. Right? They're the ones who at the chapter meetings, at regional conventions, want to be you. And that's an unbelievable responsibility. And what I just want to recognize tonight that's a little different than in the past is that they actually need you more than ever. They need role models in their lives to really make up for the year that they spent visiting life through a screen. And they lost a critical moment. And what you guys are going to do this year, and I can't wait to hear the speeches you're about to give, you're going to give it back to them. Because that's what we do as our community. That's what we do as Jews. We're going to be their rite of passage. We're going to bring up those young kids who missed out. And we're going to show them what it means to be a Jew, to be a part of the Jewish community, to embrace our faith, and to love it. So thank you for that. And leading that noble effort are 12 members of our international board. And to the execs body and to everyone else who's watching this, you elected them to these positions. You put their faith in them to lead all of us. And what's going to happen over the next few days at execs is collectively, you guys are going to figure out what this year is going to be all about. You're going to figure out our priorities. You're going to figure out how we're going to grow. And then you're going to go out and execute. And you're going to spread yourselves across the world and bring the magic of what we do to every other young Jew out there who needs some magic in their lives. And I just want to express my gratitude for all of that. But it starts with you guys. And there's a tradition, this tradition's been going on for almost 100 years now, it's hard to believe, of installing the International Board. And while it's done ultimately by the Grand Aleph Godol and the Anita M. Perlman International Nasiya, before you guys can do it for the board, you need to be installed. And that's my role, and this is one of the greatest pleasures I have in doing my job. So this is the moment, moms and dads, when you want to take a picture. There's no formality to this. There's nothing out of a blue book or a red book for this. But all I get to do is very simply, I'll start with you, Avi, get to say the fact that the trust of this, the B'nai B'rith girls, has been placed in you to lead for this coming year. And that trust was placed in you by your peers. And that trust was placed in you because who you are as a leader, what you represent to this organization, how hard you've worked over the last 4 years. And with that, on behalf of BBYO's Board of Directors, it's my honor to install you as our 78th International Nasiya, Anita M. Perlman, I've got to get that right, Anita M. Perlman International Nasiya. Congratulations. there can't be, there's partners in leadership. And when it comes to a partnership in leadership, and this is one of the best things about BBYO, is that we all have to find common ground. We all have to work together in BBYO to make this organization work. And that's what Levi is going to be entrusted to do, to be Avi's partner and to lead the Aleph Aleph as you guys take on your 98th year of existence. And you will do so in what has brought you to this place by building on the trust that's been placed in you by your peers, the work ethic that you've put into BBYO as you've grown up through the organization, and the love you have for Judaism and for our brotherhood and for all that this stands for. It's my pleasure, Levi Fox, to name you the 98th Grand Aleph Godol.
Thank you, Matt, for those incredible words. And now it is my pleasure to move us into opening rituals of the Grand Order of the Aleph Aleph to formally open our AZA and BBG inaugural address, installations of the Grand and International Board, and the Global Leadership installations. The officers will take their stations, and the AZA and BBG executive body will come to order. Aleph Shoter Godol. Aleph Noafa.
Aleph Godol.
Are all present members of AZA, BBYO, or guests?
All present are members of AZA, BBYO, or guests.
Aleph Sagan.
Aleph Godol.
See that the Aleph Shoter Katon is on guard and knows his duties.
Aleph Shoter Katon. The order is about to study some of the beautiful symbols of Judaism and nationalism. See that we are not disturbed by idlers.
Aleph Shoter Katon.
Aleph Godol. The region is safe from intrusion.
Aleph Sagan. Why do you seek admission to this order?
To join with those Jews who have dedicated their youth to clean living, so that they may become manly men.
Amen.
Aleph Maskir. What are the qualifications for membership?
To be the son of a Jew of good moral character and be filled with a desire to be helpful.
Aleph Shoter Katon. You will present to the Grand and International Orders the colors of our countries. You can come up here and you can use the microphone. It's quite a long list. You don't want anybody to miss it.
Aleph Godol. I have the honor to present to our Grand and International Orders the colors of our country. The red and black of Albania, the blue, white, and yellow of Argentina, the red, white, and blue of Australia, the red and white of Austria, green, white, and red of Belarus, the blue, white, and yellow of Bosnia and Herzegovina, the green, yellow, blue, and white of Brazil, the red, green, and white of Bulgaria, the red and white of Canada, the white, red, and blue of Chile, the red and yellow of China, the yellow, blue, and red of Colombia, the blue, white, and red of Costa Rica, the red, white, and blue of Croatia, the red, white, and blue of Cuba, the blue, white, and yellow of Curacao, the white, red, and blue of the Czech Republic, the red and white of Denmark, the blue, white, and black of Estonia, the blue and white of Finland, the red, white, and blue of France, the red and white of Georgia, the red, black, and yellow of Germany, the red, white, and green of Hungary, the green, white, and orange of Ireland, the blue and white of Israel, the red, white, and green of Italy, the red and white of Japan, the blue and gold of Kazakhstan, the black, red, green, and white of Kenya, the red and yellow of Kyrgyzstan, the red and white of Latvia, the red, green, and yellow of Lithuania, the white and red of Malta, the green, white, and red of Mexico, the red, yellow, and blue of Moldova, the red, gold, green, and blue of Montenegro, the red and green of Morocco, the red, white, and blue of the Netherlands, the red, white, and blue of New Zealand, the red and yellow of North Macedonia, the red, indigo, and white of Norway, the red and white of Peru, the white and red of Poland, the blue, yellow, and red of Romania, the red, white, and blue of Russia, the red, white, and blue of Serbia, the red and white of Singapore, the red, white, and blue of Slovakia, the red, green, black, yellow, and blue of South Africa, the red and yellow of Spain, the yellow and blue of Sweden, the red and white of Switzerland, the red and white of Turkey, the red, yellow, and black of Uganda, the blue and yellow of Ukraine, the red, white, and blue of the United Kingdom, the red, white, and blue of the United States of America, the yellow, white, and blue of Uruguay, the blue, white, green, and red of Uzbekistan, the yellow, blue, and red of Venezuela.
It is my honor to invite Aleph Cohen, Godol, Brad Siegel today to lead us in prayer. The Alephs could stand up.
I tried.
Our Father, who art in heaven and in our hearts, we humbly ask Thee to help us be worthy sons of Thee, to lead clean lives, to think clean thoughts, and to do decent deeds. Help us to be good Jews, loyal countrymen, honorable comrades, and worthy of the commendation of all good men.
I now declare the Grand Order of the Aleph Zadik Aleph and AZA and BBG International August Executives Conference open for business. Aleph Shoter Godol, please inform the Aleph Shoter Katon. And with that, howdy everyone, and good evening. To those of you with us in person, welcome to our historic Perlman camp. It's such a pleasure to have you with us. Tonight, we reunite after a great summer and begin to kick off our brand new program year.
Dear friends, colleagues, special guests, beloved family, and all of you tuning in around the world, we welcome you, Bruchim Habayim. We are humbled to be speaking to you from Perlman Camp, our second home and one of our movement's longest-running home bases. This is where so much BBYO history happened and so much Jewish history was made. This week will be no different.
For more than 70 years, AZA and BBG's leadership has gathered in this place, not just this camp, but under tents just like this. This place has been home to so many of BBYO's signature summer experiences. And it was here that our movement's largest annual moment, International Convention, used to gather in August. Hundreds of thousands of lifetime members have fond memories of being here, together, at an important time in their lives, when they were figuring out who they were, who they wanted to be, and how they wanted to shape the world.
It's here at Perlman Camp where generations of our predecessors explored what it meant to be a part of something bigger than themselves. For many, it was the first time they met Jewish peers from across the United States, or maybe from countries across the world. Maybe it was here where they first read Torah, gave a speech, stood in an election as a candidate, decided what career they wanted to pursue, found their unique voice, or fell in love for the first time. It was here where so many meaningful and transformative commitments were made between people, surrounded by tradition and supported by a special community. It was here where so many lives began to fill with purpose.
It's here that the issues of the day and the events of the world were, and still are, made accessible, easier to understand, and safe to explore. It was here, for the majority of our movement's history, that the Aleph Zadik Aleph and B'nai B'rith girls made bold, courageous, and often unprecedented decisions to meet the moment. It was from here that they rose to the occasion, faced down challenges, and motivated our global network of brothers, sisters, and siblings to declare Hinenu. We are here.
Like it had been for all those that came before us, it's through moments like these, in places just like this, with people just like you, that all over the world and all year long, that we are able to define our character, embrace our core values, and become the best versions of ourselves. We can put our best foot forward. We can move mountains to bring about the change that our communities and the world need. We can experiment, we can grow, and together we can achieve great things.
And so, we proudly and enthusiastically launch our terms as your 98th Grand Aleph Godol and 78th Anita and Perlman International Messiah, alongside our brother Alephs and sister BBGs up here on stage, partnered with our esteemed international executive body and thousands of other teams just beginning their leadership responsibilities to do their part in strengthening the movement across our global network spanning over 60 countries.
For the first time in 3 years, BBYO's year is starting without severe implications from the pandemic. Across North America and around the world, our movement is poised to offer a full year's worth of powerful in-person experiences to tens of thousands of teams. And a lot of what the year will look like, and more importantly, how effective of a year it will be, is largely dependent upon you.
That's right. The Alephs and BBGs under this tent here tonight, all of you participating online from home, and the countless other teams who are busily working right now. Those that are preparing for a terrific and meaningful semester ahead will be who makes this year great for so many Jewish teens that are just beginning their journey within our community. Already, we're hearing about huge kickoff events and new member registration throughout the United States and around the world, and we're only getting started.
To our international executive body, you are essentially our Global Movements Congress. We have a lot of important work ahead of us these next few days. What we will achieve here will translate into helpful, inspiring, and important ripples across the entire order. If we take part in all that our movement has to offer and lead our communities in the ways that our peers entrusted in us to do so, we will make an impact that will last generations. AZA and BBG are finally bouncing back. We're leaping forward. We must meet the moment. Our time is now.
We have an opportunity unlike any generation of BBYO leadership before us. As the pandemic ends and we prepare for our 100th anniversary, our centennial celebration, we can build AZA, BBG, and BBYO better positioned than ever for a second century of changing lives, building meaningful, inclusive, and welcoming Jewish communities. We will build upon decades of tradition and ritual, preserving the best of who we are, while also taking time to explore new horizons and try new ways of strengthening the platform we provide to Jewish teens, anywhere and everywhere.
We're focused on our core operations. We know better than anyone else that teens are seeking places and environments where they can be themselves, take risks, and feel valued. Thus, our top priority as we begin our term is to focus our movement on strengthening local chapters.
Chapters engage with the most Jewish teens of all of BBYO's offerings. It's where teens practice their peer leadership abilities, where they join communities for the first time and practice social skills the most frequently. It's in chapters where the most friendships are formed, where Alephs and BBGs spend the most of their BBYO experience. Chapters can be a much-needed escape, a home base for thousands of Jewish teens.
Our world needs leadership. Better, new, visionary, hopeful, brave leadership. We need to make sure our generation is ready to take over. As we gather here this week, communities everywhere are receiving updated leadership training tools, best practice guides, and helpful resources to utilize at their leadership training experiences at every level of our organization. These materials are intended to ramp up teen ownership over the chapter and improve the BBYO experience in every community we serve. We need to revive some of the synchronizations we lost during the pandemic, and elevated training will help restore some consistency as to how we're building a vibrant AZA, BBG, and BBYO program in communities throughout the world.
We'll also spend a lot of time this year promoting our core leadership summer experiences, to expand the pool of teens who are able to lead chapters, manage councils, regions, and countries, and contribute to the broader Jewish community. We're already focused on returning to record attendance at CLTC, ILTC, International Kala, and ILSI just this next summer. Teens are already registering for next year's lineup, and with things largely back to normal, we're planning for a historic summer.
We want to grow our impact. We'll widen our recruitment efforts to include thousands of teams across all grades and geographies. This membership growth will help strengthen the foundations of our chapters worldwide. Ensuring that our programming is top-notch is key to this effort, which is why offering engaging programming, funding for phenomenal kickoff events, and our new virtual program bank are all becoming available to ensure a strong start to the year. If we host our new attendees right, they'll quickly connect with local chapters and find a second home to take part in. We need to do all that we can to make this happen.
We are committed to working with all of your chapters to ensure that all teams have what they need to be successful, that they have the training and the tools needed to make an impact, and that all chapters are positioned to provide the experiences and friendships that teens expect from BBYO.
We want to make sure that all of your chapters are represented at BBYO's international training programs next year, including International Convention. Chapters who regularly take part in international experiences are proven to be stronger. We know that as a result of the pandemic, some education opportunities and traditions were interrupted, and so we've made ordering AZA and BBG membership pins, blue books and red books, as well as applying for international awards and program grants easier over the past few months. Let's make sure that all of our members are exposed to the rituals of our movement and have all the special gifts that inspire each individual Aleph and BBG to feel a part of our larger order.
We're also going to test new ways of reaching the next wave of Alephs and BBGs. We're going to pilot a variety of athletic and sports-related activities in communities worldwide. From Manhattan to Morocco, a new emphasis on recreational and competitive sports will roll out to reach new groups of teens. Our Center for Adolescent Wellness will continue to expand its peer mental health training and overall teen wellness activities to ensure that our peers are well taken care of, feel welcomed and included, and feel safe when they're with BBYO. As well, we'll continue to grow the number of teens who take part in BBYO Passport's travel opportunities to Israel next summer. These trips made more affordable than ever as a result of the Route 1 initiative. If our chapters are healthy, our teen leaders well-trained, the teens we meet through these avenues will easily find a home amongst our movement in any community.
While we're working to strengthen our existing chapters and grow the membership of our existing communities, we're excited to launch our movement in plenty of new territories too. As our For Every Jewish Teen campaign continues to progress, our initiative to reach Jewish teens in small, rural, and unique Jewish communities across North America, and our continued globalization efforts expand around the world, we're looking forward to BBYO becoming a place for Jewish teens to connect all over the world. Over the next few months, we'll be welcoming new chapters in Boise, Idaho, El Paso, Texas, Princeton, New Jersey, Tahoe, California, Reno, Nevada, Orange County, California, Maui, Hawaii, and Hamilton, Ontario, as well as expanded international hubs of Jewish life across Europe, in Portugal and Sweden, throughout Asia, like Japan and Singapore, and throughout new cities in Australia and Latin America.
And, of course, we can't wait to gather our entire worldwide family at our movement's largest annual moment, BBYO's 99th International Convention in Dallas, Texas, hosted by the North Texas, Oklahoma region in February. We can't wait to return to one of our favorite communities to host our order's largest annual reunion. And this year, we're going bigger than ever.
This year's convention will start the countdown to our 100th anniversary and a very special couple of years for our beloved movement. Naturally, we're going to produce the same incredible IC that has become world renowned for. And we're putting a special emphasis on recruiting more general members and freshmen to attend than ever before. We want to share the energy of our international order with more of our ranks, to inspire the next generation of Alephs and BBGs who will usher us towards an incredible centennial celebration. We can't wait to throw down and get big in Texas in just 6 months from now.
And as our movement grows stronger and larger, we'll continue to use our might to help improve the world around us, both locally and internationally. As we face the final opportunities to hear from Holocaust survivors and a worldwide surge in anti-Semitism, discrimination, and racism, we intend to use the lessons of the Holocaust to educate more teens, Jewish and otherwise, on tolerance, acceptance, and through formal and informal educational means. We will assist our chapters with new program content on these topics, as well as supporting local efforts to push school systems and communities to prioritize a greater emphasis on these issues in the classroom.
If there was ever a time when the world needed youthful, idealistic, and entrepreneurial emerging leaders skilled in changing and improving the world, it's now. Unfortunately, our generation is coming of age at a moment when society is as divided and polarized as ever. More people around the world are skeptical of institutions, elected leaders, and proven facts than ever before.
The pandemic highlighted why humanity needs unity, trust, and partnership to tackle big things together. The weakening of democracies, the war in Ukraine, the challenges posed by climate change, and so much more make the case for greater global connectivity, collaboration, and partnership. All of these themes enrich the meaning and purpose for our annual shared projects, such as Global Shabbat and JSER, and will work together to ensure that the world feels our impact, hears our voices, and understands the future we want to shape.
And beyond our movement initiatives, we'll leverage our membership supported by the International Leadership Network to work as a united team all year round across 6 continents and throughout hundreds of cities to return to regular fundraising, to raise funds for tzedakah and meaningful charities that our members care about, to support communities faced with violence or crisis, including our brothers and sisters in Ukraine. And we'll continue to encourage young people to vote in their upcoming elections all around the world. We have the energy, the tools, and the know-how to level up our actions for a fairer, more just, and more compassionate society. The moment upon us requires our determination, our resilience, and our fortitude. Our time is now.
Avi and I have just returned from a powerful summer in Israel, and it was a special summer to be there. We had the chance to participate in the 21st Maccabiah Games and see the country as it begins preparations for its 75th anniversary. We explored the Jewish homeland from north to south and delved into the land, our people's history, and it's for over 5,000 plus years. We met the Jews, Arabs, voices from the left and the right, agents of social change, and proponents of every perspective you can imagine. Our time on Isla Sai was transformative, and we're so grateful we had the chance to immerse ourselves in a place so inspiring, complicating, and enriching as our service to the movement begins.
A common thread throughout every triumph and challenge that we learned about, every hero and hardship that we explored, was the pivotal role of teens just like us, played at every major moment of Jewish history. Teens seem to always be at the forefront lines or in positions of leadership for our people when change or evolution is needed. When exploring Zionism, we discussed a lot about how Zionism, a means towards self-determination for the Jewish people, is reborn with every generation, and that every generation has the right and responsibility to move our people and the world forward according to the values and goals of that generation. Time and time again, teenagers just like us are handed a moment to meet, where they embrace the chance to lead as they see fit.
History is now calling upon us to meet the moment. It's our time to pursue our destiny. Our time is now.
It's time for us to fight anti-Semitism, hate, racism, and build meaningful connections with peers of all backgrounds, cultures, and faiths across the world.
It's time for us to stand up for our siblings in Ukraine, to reach out to our peers in Russia, and to expect more from our world's leaders.
It's time for us to advocate for greater attention to teen mental health.
It's time for us to educate our generation on the importance of healthy relationships, consent, and respect for everyone.
It's time for us to take an active part in strengthening our democracies, to encourage our peers and neighbors to vote, and to ensure that our government systems are fair, equitable, and easy to engage with.
It's time for us to double down on strengthening the movement, to growing our chapters, to ensure that as many Jewish teens around the world that want to be a part of this network can be, and to make sure that the experiences we offer to teens are universally great, regardless to where you live or what kind of Jewish community you're a part of.
It's time for us to meet the moment before us. It's time for our movement to rise to new heights.
Teens, just like us, for millennia, stood up for their beliefs, pushed back on tyranny and persecution, protected our tradition and the vulnerable, ensured that every next generation would be more vibrant than the last, defended our people, rebuilt a national homeland, and have fought for equality and justice at every turn of social change. Now, it's our time to meet the moment.
We can build the future we want. We can build the future we deserve.
As we look up to this up-and-coming year, we have so much to look forward to. Will it be difficult to forge the unmade path ahead? Absolutely. We're in unmarked territory. The decision we make on all aspects of our order will determine what the year ahead holds.
We hold the power to decide what is next, what roadblocks we face head-on, and what goals we reach, what communities we expand into, and what Jewish life in general looks like. We are the people that will shape how this movement reinvents itself. We have the opportunity to do something really amazing here.
We hold the cards in this game. The things you want to see, make them happen. Feel like something's impossible? Well, that's when we tend to do our best.
We are the BBGs who flip tables and rebuild them as we see fit.
We're the Alephs that jump to help at a moment's notice.
We are the BBYO members who raise millions of dollars for charity, put forth hundreds of thousands of hours in volunteering, and are ready to advocate on the causes we believe in.
We are the global citizens who protect the right to vote and stand for the values of democracy.
We are the young Jews who will help shape a stronger, more democratic, and more pluralistic state of Israel.
We are the ones that believe when all the odds are against you, by working together, anything can be achieved.
We are the generation our ancestors dreamed of in their wildest dreams.
The year ahead holds so much potential and promise. We have always been a movement for Jewish teens, built by Jewish teens.
We've always strived for bigger, bolder, better.
Today, we reaffirm our commitment to these principles as we come together to open this, the International August Executives Conference, and a new era for Jewish teens worldwide on this day, the August 17, 2022, the 20th of Av, 5782. We are together as one, forever united as one crew.
May our actions display to the world we are ready to meet the moment. Now is our time.
Fraternally and respectfully submitted with an undying love.
For the International Order of the B'nai B'rith Girls.
The Grand Order of the Aleph Tzadik Aleph.
Northern Region East, DC Council number 54.
Lone Star Region number 73.
Yachad BBG number 159.
And Jack Lubell, AZA number 2092.
We remain Avi Gordetsky, your 78th Anita M. Perlman International Nasiya.
And Aleph Levi Fox, your 98th Grand Aleph Godol. With all that the Grand Order of the Aleph Tzadik Aleph will need from its leadership this year, I am humbled to be able to lead this order forward alongside the members of the 98th Grand Board of the Aleph Tzadik Aleph. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Jack Ellis of New England Region, as the 98th Grand Aleph Sagan. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Josh Rutman of Lone Star Region, as the 32nd Grand Aleph Moreh. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Aaron Perota of the Greater Jersey Hudson River Region, as the 98th Grand Aleph Mazkir. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Josh Rajanov of North Texas, Oklahoma, as the 34th Grand Aleph Shaliach. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Avi Cohn of Rocky Mountain Region, as the 5th Grand Aleph Gizbor. '98, may you continue to lead with the dedication of the gentlemen who came before you, and may their challenges and triumphs give you the foundation to lead with humility and an open heart. May the wisdom of the cardinal principles inform your work, giving you empathy, compassion, and a burning desire to advocate for what you believe in. May the traditions of this movement guide you to fight for justice and equality in our community and beyond. May you be fueled by the strength of your friendships, supported by the arms of those around you, and steadied by the legacies of the generations of Alephs upon whose shoulders you stand. Let these words support you in your work today and far into the future. Amen. Alephs, here's the next 98.
International Order of the B'nai B'rith Girls will need from its leadership this year, I'm humbled to be able to lead this order forward alongside the members of the 78th International Board of the B'nai B'rith Girls. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Naomi Mariah Kills, from Northern Region East DC Council as the 78th International City. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Ellie Rose Bombell of Rocky Mountain Region as the 31st International Aim Kahaba Road. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Courtney Hannah Sachs, from Mountain Region as the 78th International Mazkira. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Leah Danielle Barish, from Northern Region East DC Council as the 34th International Shlichah.
There you go.
By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby install you, Samantha Page Cooper of Northern Region East Baltimore Council as the 5th International District. Woo! 78. May you be blessed with the strength of the women who came before you, and may their stories and triumphs give you the courage to believe in your own power and potential. May the legacy of the Menorah Pledge principles guide you in your work, giving you empathy, compassion, and a drive to fight for what you believe in. May the traditions of this movement create within you an inextinguishable fire that burns for justice and equality. May you be fueled by the strength of your friendships, supported by the arms of those around you, and steadied by the legacies of all the generations of powerful women. Let these words support you in your work and far into the future. Amen. BBG's here's to the next 78.
people don't make a movement. Thousands do. Just as the power of AZA and BBG has now been turned over to us, we look to you, the leaders of regions, councils, and chapters, those elected, appointed, or emerging, the Aleph and B'nai B'rith girls of the grand and international orders who help us lead the next 98 and 78 years of our global fraternity and sorority. We need you.
To be a member of the Grand Order of the Aleph Aleph, or the International Order of the B'nai B'rith Girls, is to understand both the opportunity and the responsibility that we have to transform the world around us. To be a leader of the Grand and International Orders means that you take action on that responsibility.
You, the leaders of BBYO who have gathered here today, represent tens of thousands of Jewish teens around the world. The power and potential of this global fraternity and sorority lies within each and every one of you. Your deeds do count, and we're all watching.
You will decide if you'll make that extra phone call to the guy who you know will love AZA, even though he hasn't given it a try just yet. You will decide if you'll empower the BBG who hasn't yet found their voice, to remind them that they are not welcome here despite their differences, but because of them.
When we wear the letters of AZA and BBG on our chests, carry it on our water bottles, post it on our Insta bios, and stick it to our laptops, every action we take, every voice that we amplify, and every environment we create reinforces our values and shares them with the world.
Although we gather today as representatives of global Jewish teams, we are not just any Jewish teams. We are the Aleph and the B'nai B'rith girls.
My brother and sibling Olives who have gathered here today from far and wide, it is my honor to declare, by the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby call upon you and install you as the leaders of the Grand Order of the Aleph 98th year. May you live out the values of our fraternity and continue to show all people that you dedicate yourself to honor, to truth, to virtue, and to justice.
My sister and sibling B'nai B'rith girls who have joined together to celebrate our sisterhood and siblinghood. By the power vested in me by BBYO, I hereby call upon and install you as the leaders of the 78th year of the International Order of the B'nai B'rith girls. May you lead with free and joyous hearts and leap from strength to strength, always in peace and never alone.
Now that our business has ended, it is our hope that we have carried our deliberations in a manner benefiting the great organization of which we are a part. Let us now leave with free and joyous hearts and with minds that are filled with thoughts and deeds that are pure and noble. It is my honor to invite Emily Kolodny, the 75th Anita M. Perlman International Nasiya of the B'nai B'rith Girls, to serve as our Shomeret Habrit today. Will the Shomeret Habrit please read the closing prayer?
May you all, those sitting on the stage behind me, those in front of me, and those joining us via live stream, lead and inspire in such a way that you are the best yet, but not the best ever.
I now declare this meeting officially adjourned. Let us now join hands in a friendship circle and sing our international BBG song.
I will never figure this out.
No, let's go. Get up.
I might have to like
BBG, our love, our youth, our loyalty, we sing to thee with joyous as our voices reach the sky. Put up from Zion came the white and blue to give these colors bold and true. Our loyal daughters gather round to raise our flags on high. BBG, our love, our youth, our loyalty, we sing to thee with joyous as our voices reach the sky. Put up from Zion came the white and blue to give these colors bold and true. Our loyal daughters gather round to raise our flags on high.
To be seated again, and we're going to invite Eric and Julia up to lead us in the Shahati.
you to join us in singing this blessing for arriving at this significant moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'efianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'efianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
One more amen for good measure. Before we stop relishing in the beauty of this moment, it's become something of our own tradition to offer one final blessing to the boards as they embark on your journey of course, beautiful and holy work, but also of living one of the most incredible years, certainly of your young life. I'm sure there will be many more beautiful years to come. But I just want to offer from Julia and I a blessing in a song that we've offered to many boards who have come before you. May I suggest, and we hope that as you move into this holy work and have the absolute time of your lives doing it, that you take time to recognize how beautiful these moments are.
May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed for you. This time is blessed and shining, almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see 1,000 reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life.
There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, like a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A lover's trusting smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. And I suggest, oh I suggest to you, oh I suggest this is the best part of your life.
There is a hope that's been expressed in you, of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith that they invest in you, is that you'll do on better than was done before. Inside you know, inside you understand, inside you know what's yours to finally set right. And I suggest to you, and I suggest this is the best part of your life.
And this is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun, with a request of you, to see how very short the endless days will run.
And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, oh, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. And I suggest this is the best part of your life. Oh, I suggest this is the best part of your life.
So, on behalf of all of us up here, thank you so much for giving us your attention over this last, I don't know how long it's been, maybe hour plus. For our teen delegates, we invite you to go head down to